Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another week of the Korean Cowboys Podcast.
Yes, that came out of nowhere. Apparently, that scared me. I didn't know we were starting. Okay, well, yeah, I'm so professional. Oh, look at me. Dressed for summer.
Yeah.
Look good. I'm wearing my Gilbert Gottfried shirt where he's eating a lemon. It's not really Gilbert Gottfried. But anyway, we're not going to talk about fashion because literally there's no comparison. Aaron looks like he's dressed straight out of the Joseon Dynasty. So
what do you mean? I'm just wearing a shirt.
You look like a yangban, and you're like a.
Do I?
Yeah. Just grow your hair out a little bit more.
Oh, I didn't shave again today. I got to shave in a few days for ASC. So.
Bro, listen, I know some of y'all are like, you guys like to say that you love Aaron's facial hair, but it really is just.
He's just mad that he can't grow it out like I can.
I ain't mad. I don't want facial hair. In fact, I get the laser to take it off. You know.
This is the 4th day since I haven't shaved.
But your facial hair, all things considered, grows out like really weirdly.
What
like
do you mean?
It's patchy.
No, it's not.
You don't got like a cool big Tom Selleck mustache.
Look, it grows out all on the cheek over here. The only weird place where it's patchy is like right here.
And that's what we call. Get ready for this. That's what we call a pube stash.
Yeah, no.
A pube, apparatus.
Okay. You look like a catfish if you grew your shit out.
Catfish?
Little whiskers coming out. You know what I mean?
I did shave today, though. I won't lie. I did. I had a little bit of peach fuzz. But we're not here to talk about our facial hair, actually. So, Aaron, how was your week? Wait, let me guess. ASC.
Oh, that too, but my sister is finally gone.
Mm-hmm. Bye-bye, Hannah Guac.
Yes, I sent her off on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Was it this week or last week?
Last week, last week. Oh, what day is it today? It's Sunday. Listen, we're all off kilter today. Listen, is it?
No, okay. I sent her off like 2 days ago. That's right.
Okay.
Sent her off on the 7th. Yeah, I got dinner with her. I got dinner with family throughout the week. It was fun. I got to see my uncle, my cousins. It was chill.
Yeah, I got a bone to pick with Hannah though. At your birthday party, I was like, "Hey Hannah, we're gonna hang out, right?" She's like, "Yeah, I'll make time. Let's hang out." And then she just done up and left. Thanks.
Well, you were invited to the family dinner, but
I wasn't trying to go over there. I had work, so I couldn't go. But I don't know why I'm invited to the family dinner. I'm not related to you guys whatsoever.
Anyways, well, how was your week?
My week. I've been busy. I have been watching this drama called 수사방장 1980. I don't know, what is it? I've been watching a drama called 수사방장 1958 with Lee Jae-yoon, and it is so good. It's like a buddy cop drama taking place right after the Korean War, and it is a lot of fun to watch. It's like historical. I like my history and my what do you call it? Like I love my
timepieces.
My period pieces.
Yeah, there you go.
I like my period dramas, especially that take place in Korea. Like I love it. The production quality is good. Shout out to NBC for putting out a really good drama.
Oh, it's NBC. It's not like Netflix or anything.
Yeah, it's not Netflix. It's on NBC.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've watched like a Gongjungpa, like a Korean broadcasting drama like this.
Yeah.
And once again, like I said, I'm the type of person that once I start a drama, I get really sucked into it. I do nothing. I'm like completely doing nothing. It got to the point where I was like, oh, I really don't want to go to work. Like it was that much.
How many episodes are there?
I think there's 10. I haven't watched all of them yet. I'm on episode 7. I think.
So it's already done.
It's done. It finished like not too long ago. So I definitely suggest you guys watch that. I would also like to shout out someone. Can I do this?
Yeah, of course.
So I would like to shout out Kat, who is
Williams?
No, not Kat Williams. Kat is a 기자. What is that? A writer? Not an editorial writer. Editorial writer.
Yes.
I did an interview with her for TV Guide when I did Squid Game the Challenge.
Yeah,
and she was giving mad props for our podcast. Actually, she was she actually watched the recent one. She was like, oh, I'm so impressed of your ability to pull things out of Aaron and blah 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 blah. And I was like, thank you, I appreciate that.
Well, thank you very much for
so
watching.
Shout out to Kat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, shout out to Kat. I don't know your last name, but shout out to
Kat Moon.
Kat Moon.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Kat Moon.
Thank you for listening, and we'll definitely I'll try to pull more stuff out of Aaron as time goes on. It's my first ever American interview, so that's why it's a big deal for me.
Nice.
But anyway, shout out. Everybody support Kat and all of her endeavors. However, that's not what we're talking about today.
Yeah, what are we talking about today?
So, we've touched on it, and it's not that big of a part of our life, but we've covered drinking.
Of course,
we've covered hangover stories and this sort of thing. But I thought it would be fun to, and I hope you thought about this because we've all, if you've drank before we've all had a hangover, right?
Yes.
Now, some people say that they never get hangovers, but I don't think that's possible. You know what I mean? Like, I think that everybody to some degree has a hangover. Now, if you think you're too manly to admit that you don't, that's a lie. And I know you do because...
Oh, no, I definitely get
He had one a couple days ago, and he called me, and he said he was dying. So I thought it would be fun to cover, hangover stories. And then what you do to cure a hangover. And I think we should... we did the anime episode. Top 3 hangovers. And explain how they came about and just how bad they were, because everybody has a different hangover experience. You were there for, I think, probably one of my top 3.
Yeah.
The other 2 were just god awful. But yes, let's talk about it.
Yeah, no. Just before we move on with our stories, the reason why I laughed was because you were talking about how some people are like, oh yeah, I never get hangovers. Like I've never been hungover once in my life. When we had the family dinner, my sister's boyfriend's younger brother came with us to dinner.
Okay.
And he was like, oh, yeah, I've never been hungover. I'm like, how much do you drink? And he's like, he says, I drink like 2 to 3 bottles. And I'm like, of soju? And he's like, no, tequila.
Bottles of tequila.
Yeah, I was like...
You'll be in the hospital if you drink that.
I looked at him and I was like, 2-3 bottles of tequila, like the big bottles. He's like, yeah, I've never been drunk. And then me and my uncle looked at each other. We're like, bullshit.
How old is this kid?
He's like I think he was born in 99.
Okay, so that's still young. And listen,
but still,
I don't
2-3 bottles of tequila.
I don't know this person, but 3 to 4 bottles, maybe like one of those little mini bar ones, maybe.
Yeah, so me and my uncle were like the ones they give you at the hotel. Like the
ones, or on the airplane, they give you a mini bottle, like a little tiny one. That's like 1 shot, maybe 1.5. Yeah, I could do that and probably not even be drunk.
Yeah.
But 3 whole big handles, or like a 1 liter or a 700 milliliter one. Yeah.
I was like, that's crazy, bro. You're lying.
If you do, you might be some kind of drinking prodigy.
Yeah.
But,
anyways, yeah, this just reminded me of it. It was funny when he was saying that. But anyways, drinking and hangovers.
Yes.
For me personally, nowadays, I think it's now that we're aging a little bit, and maybe it's because we drank a little too much when we were younger. It definitely does take me a lot longer to recover. I would say the shortest, the fastest I can recover is like if I went out drinking, woke up at like 9, 10 the next day, like maybe 3, 4. By then I'll be okay. But that's only if I drink like a little amount. If I go out and I get up and party and stuff, like sometimes I'll have 2 days.
Now a 2-day hangover, you think that would not be possible, but
it's possible. Yes,
I have had it once, and I think it actually went longer than 2 days.
Yeah,
and I'm not just saying I was sluggish or I was tired. No, I was violently ill. Okay, let's go in like reverse order. So we'll start with number 3. Right?
Number 3, worst hangover experience.
Let's hear Aaron's number 3 worst hangover.
God, number 3 worst hangover. Man, there's so many. There's so many bad ones. Probably. I don't know. The last time I was deathly hungover. Actually, I do know. On my actual birthday, this year. I'm not gonna say it's top 3 of all time. Actually, you know what? I know which one I'm going to pick for top 3.
Okay, what's up?
My 3rd one would be New Year's, when you and I drank together.
Okay, now please fill us in, because I don't remember. I remember some details. So was this when you were talking nonsense in the cab on the way home, and I was like, Aaron, what are you talking about?
Yes, that.
Okay, I remember that.
So for New Year's, we went out to a Young's restaurant, and we ended up drinking a lot of tequila and a lot of soju and beers that night, and this is before Joel and I ever lived together, but we were living in the same neighborhood. So I was like, hey, can you drop me off home? I think I'm a little too messed up. So we get in the cab. I don't remember anything, but apparently Joel was like, you're speaking gibberish in the cab.
No, you were speaking words, but they were all incoherent, and they made words are connected. There's sentence structure. There was none of that. It was like dragons, eggs, lights, and clocks. But it was really weird. I was genuinely kind of concerned.
Yeah. Anyways, I went home that night, passed out, and I don't think I woke up until 5 or 6 p.m. the next day.
So that's the thing. That particular day, he drank a lot. I had to work. I was working at a cafe at that time, and the next day I had to go to work the next morning. So I was not able to let loose. So I was okay. I was a little tipsy, but I wasn't messed up to any degree. I had to wake up at 8 in the morning, right?
Yeah.
So I went to work the next day, and usually, to show you how much Aaron is obsessed with me, he'll call me as soon as he wakes up and just whatever, and I was at work and it was like noon or whatever, and I was like, okay, I sleep till noon, whatever. Like 4 or 5 o'clock rolls around, and I'm like, he still hasn't called or responded to my text or called me. I'm like, is he okay? Like, is he like, alcohol poisoning or something? I was genuinely concerned, and then finally he called me. He was like, oh, I'm dying. Like, he was seriously like destroyed.
Yeah, it was bad.
So that was your third worst one.
I think that was my third worst one, yeah.
Okay. I remember that. New Year's. I remember this. This was fun.
Yeah. What about you? Let's hear Joel's number 3.
No, Joel's number 3 is definitely going to be the one that we've already covered on this, and that was our Busan one.
Okay.
The one where
really? Was that bad?
We went for our friend's wedding, and listen, we went from drinking on the beach to then going to a bar and having champagne. That's where the mistakes are. That's where all the mistakes started there. Because at the beach, I was still okay. And then whiskey, and then blah, 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 blah. And then it just all fell apart. That was the worst one. If you ever have to travel to any degree in a car or on a train or on a plane or whatever, you realize how freaking painful and miserable it is. Like, it's honestly, seriously terrible.
That was number 3, really?
Yeah, that was number 3. That was.
I mean, you're dying that day.
That one's bad, but I've had worse by far. Yeah. That was awful. What about you? What's number 2?
Number 2, you have to let me think on it a little bit. What's your number 2?
I'll give you my number 2 then. My number 2 would probably be. Dang, I'm forgetting. I had them all lined up and everything. So. This one was bad. Number 2. To an idol friend of ours, we went to his birthday party in Apgujeong Rodeo.
Was it us?
I was with you.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was, I don't know, he like rented out the whole place, and we went there and we drank. And this was the next day. I had to go to work also. I was also working at the cafe.
Was it a whiskey place?
It was...
Okay, I don't know what you're saying, but okay, go ahead.
Oh. Anyway, I was like, you know what? I got to work tomorrow, but you know what? I got to wake up a little bit later. I think I had to be there by like, maybe like 11 or something, which is not unreasonable. And I went home pretty early that day.
Okay.
So basically it was booze on tap, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, take whatever you want. Open bar. I go there and I'm like, yeah, I get to see, I saw a lot of my, idol friends and all these people I haven't seen in quite a while. So I was like, oh, how you guys been? It was really just a lot of fun. And I was drinking. More than I thought I was. Because I got really drunk, but it was still pretty early. Because I remember I got off of work and then went straight there.
Okay.
And I got off work at 9 o'clock or 10, something like that. It was still pretty early. And I was out of this place by midnight.
All right.
Because I knew that I had work the next day. I go in there. I was throwing back whiskey and tequilas and all kinds of cocktails all this stuff. Champagne, everything. I wake up the next day at 8 or 9 or something, and I'm like, damn, I feel okay. It's insane. That's,
I remember this.
I thought I was going to, I was like, wow, I am okay. This is strange. I'd expected to be at least a little hungover, I was not okay.
I remember this story, yeah.
I got on the bus, and then I went to work at this cafe, and for the first hour or so, I was all right. I was perfectly fine for a little while. Lunch rolls around, and they bring out the food or whatever. They got little doshiraks, little packed lunches, and I was eating it. The first bite, I instantly was like, oh, man, this will be good, Hedgehog, whatever. And I threw up. I ran to the bathroom and I threw up. And I was working there, mind you. And I was like, oh my God. When I throw up, I dry heave like crazy. Everybody can hear it. So I was like, oh my God, this is not working. So I came back, used mouthwash. And then every 10 minutes, like clockwork, I just kept going to the bathroom and I was sick as a fucking dog. I was so sick. And then my manager was working at the cafe. My manager at the cafe, he was like, just go in the back room, rest for a half hour, an hour, we'll cover for you. Do it. It just progressively got worse as the day went on. And finally my manager came in and he was like, look, just go home. And I told him, I was like, don't even pay me for today. I'm sorry. I can't stay here. I'm so sick. So I took a cab, which wasn't even that far from my house. I had to take a cab because I could not walk to go. I could not function. I was completely,
I remember this,
messed up. And I slept and I woke up at 4 a.m. Like, it was just awful. Like, it was miserable. What about you? Number 2.
God, number 2. Number 2, I'm going to say maybe like last year.
Okay.
It's just like a regular story. Just went out with friends, drank a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, the next day, I just had like one of like those nasty hangovers where it's like, I felt like I was in a yak the next day. I usually don't have that feeling like where I want to throw up the next day, but it was like one of those rare times where like I wanted to throw up. I had a headache all day. I took like 2 naps throughout the day. It was bad, but yeah, like not like there's like not really like a story to like that hangover. But
really?
My number 1 though, I remember this. It's clear as day.
Okay, we're gonna tiki taka a little bit. Let me tell you my number 1 story. This was by far and large the worst hangover I have ever experienced, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I wouldn't even wish that on dictators throughout history. It was so bad.
Let's hear it.
So this was okay when like I say, when you're in college, right? You party. You know what I mean? Like you go. I was learning. I just became of age in Korea, and I was like, learning the ropes of the party scene of being a college student, right? Mm-hmm. I went out with my friends to a bar in Hongdae. And I was used to getting lit or whatever. Tequila shots were like 2,000 won back then. Like tequila slammers 2,500. Like you just have fun, whatever. So I went out with one of my friends that she was a very well off friend, and she offered to buy us alcohol, and I was like, hell yeah, score. She pulls out Jägermeister.
Oh God.
Which I absolutely to this day cannot look at or smell without getting like nauseous. And this is, mind you, over 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. So she was like, there's a thing called Jaeger bombs, which is Jägermeister with an energy drink. At the time in Korea, Red Bull was not around, so they used Hot 6, which is like a Korean version of Red Bull.
Yeah.
So basically, she just poured out the whole bottle into Jaeger bombs, and there was like maybe like 20, 25 Jaeger bombs, like just for all of us to kind of just drink.
God.
So I was like, I was feeling good. I was like, you know what? Let me flex on them a little. Let me just take a whole bunch. And someone like bet me something. They were like, oh, I'll bet you something if you can drink like 5 or 6 or 7 of these or whatever.
Ugh.
I was like, yeah, you know what? 도전하겠습니다. I'm going to challenge this. So I was like, you know what? Let me show these cats what's up. So all in a row. Mm-hmm. I was okay for a bit, but it takes time to metabolize the alcohol. It hit me like a goddamn truck. Like it was like a semi truck just hit me in the face. I was messed up, like really drunk, and I put my head down on the table, and I was like, everybody, just give me like 10, 15 minutes. Let me just collect myself a little. That's not how alcohol works. It gets progressively worse. Mm-hmm. So. My friend at the time was like, kept poking me, like, get up, like, like to try and like mess with me because he knew I was drunk. I was like, leave me alone. Stop touching me. And he was like, being a jackass, right? This is something you'd do. And then
what do you mean?
Kept poking me. And I was like, leave me alone. And then, he just kept doing it. I got up and I looked at him and I was like, leave me. And I like threw up all over him. All over his arm, like his shirt and everything. It was awful. And this was like back then, people in bars were like, you could smoke in bars in Korea. You can't do that now, but like back then, people could. It was just, smoke everywhere. Like it was just a hot mess. And when you smell smoke like that, it makes you like more nauseous. Sick. You know what I mean? So I just threw up all over his arm. And I was like, I need to go to the bathroom. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I need to go to the bathroom. I went in the bathroom and I slept in the stall. Like, I fell asleep in the stall. I was so sick. And then, my friends were like, where the hell did Joel go? My friends come in, and they have to, like, jump over the stall to unlock it. So, like, I can, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made. And I learned never to do such foolish behavior. Of course, I went out into an alleyway, like, near the bar. And I was like, oh, fresh air. And it was, like, summer, so it was, like, really gross, muggy air.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm just going to, like, take a little nap. You know what I mean? So I passed out, like I was sitting like this, on the
sidewalk,
in the alleyway, right? And I was just like covered in vomit, like it was just a disgusting sight.
God, gross.
And my dumb ass, I refused to call him a friend. He thought he was being edgy, and he like made this collage of the night, right? Yeah. And he put a picture of me. He came out in the alleyway and took a picture of me, passed out in an alleyway, and he put that in the collage and tagged it on Facebook. And my dad is friends with me on Facebook, and he saw it, and he was furious, rightfully so. My dad was so mad. He was like, I'm paying for your college, and this is what you're doing, like, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So basically, after a few hours, I sobered up enough, and I could go home or whatever. Like, I was coherent,
God.
So I went home, and the hangover was abysmal. It was like seriously the worst thing ever. I was hungover for days.
Oh God, I bet.
2 days at least. I tried to eat spaghetti. I couldn't even eat that. I couldn't drink water. Like I was like serious. I must have looked like a skeleton by the end of this. Like it was so bad. So I learned my lesson, okay? So I learned my lesson when I was young, so that doesn't happen to me now, at least on that level. I get hangovers here and there, but yeah, that was by far the worst.
Yeah. I think for my number one, I've mentioned it on the podcast before, but I went on vacation back to LA, met with friends, and we went to a bar and we all ended up having 15 double shots of whiskey.
Oh, I remember this.
And then
I knew you at this point, I think.
Yeah. And then went back to a friend's house to sleep, and then I had to fly out to Georgia the next morning to go visit my family. And I remember I remember throwing up at the airport. I remember passing out on the plane.
We talked about this recently.
Yeah. That was definitely my number one. It was bad. I fell asleep on someone on the plane. I didn't even know the lady. I'm so sorry if you ever watch this episode. And I arrived in Georgia. My parents are waiting for me at the terminal. I'm just like, don't talk to me, guys. I'm gonna throw up. It was bad.
Aaron's got a lot of episodes on airplanes. Like you saved someone's life on an airplane that one time. You're good.
Why did you save anyone's life? I translated for
whatever.
The doctor.
That's you contributed to the safety of another passenger. I'm sure you said you were throwing up. I'm sure you're probably beating up terrorists on planes. Aaron's such a hero. Oh my heavens.
Yeah, but I mean, those are our top 3 hangovers. Okay, since we talked about the hangovers, what is your top hangover cure?
You go first.
I already know.
You go first.
I already know.
Aaron's gonna say, oh, I'm gonna have a big, fat, greasy slice of pizza and blah 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 blah. Right? Okay, what's yours?
I think taking a nice cold shower kind of helps my body wake up a little bit, and then I'll have greasy food like a hamburger or pizza or I'll eat ramyeon, some soup, to help ease my stomach a little bit, and then I'll just lie down and rest. I think that's the best way to just get over a hangover is either nap or just sleep.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, your body needs to time to recover all that stuff. Now, of course, going to take a shower and having some ramyeon, that's great, but that's assuming you can actually get up, which is not something that I can do. I'm the type of person that my mom can't drink alcohol at all. She says some Asians have that really serious allergy to it. My brother cannot drink alcohol at all. I'm lucky in the fact that I follow my dad and I can actually have a glass of alcohol and not get, sick.
Yeah.
However, that does translate when I have hangovers, unfortunately.
Right.
Some people get my head hurts, or they can't see bright lights because it hurts their head, or stuff that they're tired. I'm so sad. Me, I become incapacitated. I can't move at all if it's one of those really bad hangovers. I cannot get out of bed. I throw up all day long. And it gets to the point where I dry heave or throw up so much that all of the I throw up so much the blood vessels in my face pop, and it looks like I have freckles because it's all just pop blood vessels in my face. Because I'm for if you do that for 10 minutes, it's all gonna go. So the real adult answer is you don't drink enough to get a hangover, but this is real life and it happens. Mine is definitely just to basically suffer for 10 to 12 hours after I wake up.
I think definitely keeping yourself hydrated, number one, is the most important thing. But I think showers they definitely help you.
Oh yeah, you sober up a lot when you shower. But I have this habit now where I drink at least a liter of water before I sleep.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean a whole liter. I have a liter water bottle and I drink the whole thing.
Yeah,
because I don't want my hangover. I don't want none of that. So usually that prevents it. But sometimes that doesn't happen, and it's awfully miserable. But basically, long story short, if I do have a hangover like that, I lay there and I suffer. I mean, suffer for hours and hours and hours. And there's some times where you're so sick, you can't even sleep. I can't even turn over. I feel so sick. So
I mean,
I haven't had one of those in a long time though. So.
I mean, I think like if you're like deathly ill like that, I think just staying in bed and just like continuously napping is probably the best way to get over it because your body does like metabolize it better when you're asleep. And
Yeah,
shit,
of course.
So, yeah. I mean, hopefully no one makes stupid decisions like that.
Yeah,
you know?
but you know, like I look at it like this. Obviously, it's not encouraged or even safe to have that sort of relationship with alcohol. However, we are humans, and you know you have to experience it to learn it, and that's because I experienced all these things. I'm assuming you too, maybe. That you wouldn't make the same mistakes that you do when you're consuming alcohol. So you live, laugh, and you love, and you learn. And you have a healthy relationship with things like alcohol, which I do now. Like I don't have like a thing where I get like super wasted and I'm all sick. That hasn't happened in a long time. I think Busan was the last time that happened.
Yeah, I don't think I get like super wasted either nowadays. I get like drunk to like a good like 7, 8-ish, and I'll just go home. I will. Damn, something in my throat today.
Swallow some of your
hair. I will rarely get to like a 9 or a 10 these days.
Yeah, no, it's and if I do get to a 9 or 10. I usually don't realize that I'm getting there because I wouldn't no sane human being would want to actually willingly go to that level. I think a lot of the times like you're so caught up in a conversation or something like that like it just happens and then you get up and you're like, oh man, I'm screwed tomorrow.
Yep.
Like, you know, it's usually that's what happens, you know. Or like you mix alcohol and you don't realize that it's pretty bad.
Yeah, mixing alcohol is like definitely like not a good choice. Well, for reviewers who are of age and who do drink, you know, every now and then, just make sure to make good decisions when you guys do.
Make smart decisions when you're drinking. I think Aaron hasn't been awake for very long or something. His voice is all messed up. But yeah. Anyway, drink responsibly.
Yeah, obviously.
You know, but if you do run across a hangover, always think, well, in Korea anyway, soup. Soup always helps.
Yes, soup does always help. Helps with the stomach.
Hot soup.
Yep.
Ramyeon's my go-to.
Ramyeon? Nowadays, I've been eating a lot of 뼈장국.
You're such an ajashi.
What do you mean? It's so good.
Such an old person thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, so everybody, drink responsibly.
Yes. All right, guys. Here we are.
Here we are. My laptop suddenly magically appeared.
Yes.
You know, so I got a video, and I've seen the one that you are supplying, but these are, to me, extremely funny. Okay. And they're very relatable to today's society. So let's start with yours. Okay.
Yeah. You said you've seen it, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, it went hella viral. So
yes, this is a skit, by the way, everyone.
Yeah, it's not real.
Don't you see how this could be offensive to a real, authentic Mexican?
Hey, can I just say that I'm Mexican and this doesn't bother me at all? Because these tacos are great.
Okay, sir, I appreciate your feelings on the matter, but I don't need you to be a mouthpiece for an entire cuisine, okay? As long as a white man's doing the cooking, I won't be eating here.
Oh, I'm not the cook. Guillermo's the cook.
Guillermo? Okay, wow. Guillermo, let me guess. You've got some poor Mexican dude back there slaving away for $5 an hour so that you can call these tacos authentic. Excuse me, senor. You don't need to work here. You can open your own taco truck.
Guillermo doesn't speak English.
야! 고기도 필요해!
기다려!
말 그만하고 빨리 움직여! 알았어, 씨발!
I'm just surprised you actually don't know what to be offended by right now, do you?
This is like watching a computer glitch.
You know what? This highlights something that I find to be very relatable in today's society.
Yep.
People want to be offended. You know, like, and if there's nothing to be offended by, they find something to be offended by.
Yep. What and also like, what's the issue with the white guy running like a taco stand or his taco truck? You know what I mean? There's no issue with that.
You know, so for example, like this is the good thing here is that I can bring up with experience is that my family, my grandparents and my dad's side of the family, extended family, they all live really, 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 really close to Mexico, down in Arizona. They cook some of the most authentic, great, tasty Mexican food. They make it really, really, really well. Yeah. And like, you know, I've been down to Mexico plenty, and the food is very similar, if not the same. So just because you're a white guy or a Korean guy doesn't mean that you can't make really, really good food. And I think it's a big narrative. No, it's how you could perceive what a lot of people think these days. You've seen that other video, like, where the guy walks around asking people if, what was it, like a...
If he's wearing like a poncho and like...
Yeah, and like his big sombrero, like he went out and asked a bunch of people if this is offensive. And all the people, except for the race of people that have that culture, they were all like, this is so offensive, this is blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
And then they straight up ask straight up Mexican people, and they're like, no, we think it's great. We think it's funny. We think you're like cool. Showing love to our culture and stuff.
Yeah. It's that like, see, like, this is a skit, and like people are like, oh yeah, but there aren't actually people like that. Yes, there actually are people like that, which is why they made a skit about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's so bad. Like Joel said, like everyone wants to be, not everyone, but there are people out there in the world that want to be offended by anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They want to be, we call them SJWs, right? Social justice warriors, And
I think the people that do this, first of all, once again, I'm going to poop all over, a lot of social media, but it's true. A lot of these movements, right? The being offended movement, all this stuff, you see all of it on social media, and sometimes it's okay to be offended. Sometimes it's okay to raise your voice about this stuff. Sure. But I think a lot of people that get offended by things like this, I think it's, you want to be a part of some kind of movement, be a part of something.
Right.
And you don't realize that in a lot of ways it can seem trivial and it can seem snowflakey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like even like the guy, the Mexican dude that was like, I just want to say I'm Mexican and I think these tacos are awesome, or whatever he said, right? Like it's like no one has an issue with it. Like let's say like I went to like a Korean restaurant, there was a white guy making food in the back, but it tasted really good. I'd be like, okay, whatever, like I don't care, you know what I mean? Like it's food is food.
I mean, to me, like the Mexican guy, right? He basically co-signed. He was like, this is actually really good, So like, I don't think that you should, you necessarily have to be a particular race to enjoy and or make really, really good food from another culture or whatever.
Right.
Now, say theoretically you had something like, okay, someone thinks that Hitler did nothing wrong. Something like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
So like, if you say that to anybody that's a Jewish person, they're all going to be offended by that. That is a very different situation than something like this.
Right.
You know what I mean? I might seem like, a little big, not relatable or not on the same scale.
No, but like it's like kind of like the same like logic, you know what I mean?
So you got to... I don't know. I think people need to lighten up a little bit, and they need to be more open-minded. I don't remember this ever being a problem before, but I mean...
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge problem, though, apparently, so... I just thought this skit was really funny.
No, it is funny. I've actually seen this a bunch of times. If you read the comments, they're all like... They all agree with us, for the most part.
So, I mean...
So, yeah, you don't have to be offended to everything. Live your life with a little bit of joy and, a little bit of positivity.
Right? Why are you guys going out looking for fights? You know what I mean?
Nobody's got to be so mad about things these days. Like,
leave people alone.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a serious problem, okay, fine, be mad about it. But, I mean, like, you don't have to pick and choose all these things that are barely there.
Let's say this is obviously a skip, but if there is a person like this and like they are actually offended, just keep it to yourself and move on. Go somewhere else.
Go eat something else. Go eat your unseasoned potatoes and your chicken breast with nothing on it and all that stuff. Yeah, come on. Yeah. Listen, I'm half white. I can tell you a lot of white people food is very, very bland. Okay, that's why I'm saying this.
I just thought that this skit was like a very good representation of like issues within society.
Yeah, that's what the director or the writers of this. That's why they did this because I do like this clip.
That's fun.
Very relatable.
All right, well, let's see your viral clip. I see a lady.
Yes. All right. Now this went viral recently.
Okay.
You haven't seen this?
No, I have no idea.
Okay.
So I applied for a job at TJ Maxx a few weeks ago and they denied my application. They couldn't even call me. They just sent me some automated email. So I went in today and I was like, so what was the reason I didn't get hired? And she was like, oh, like you just like don't have enough experience. There was candidates that had like more experience than you. And, I asked her if it was about my tattoos, obviously, because I know a lot of places don't like tattoos. Mm-hmm. She said that wasn't the reason. I don't feel like that's true.
Okay.
Okay, number one, maybe you're not as qualified as you think you are. Because, I mean, the employer said there were people that were better qualified. Number two, I do think if you have tattoos like that all over your neck and your face, that is going to affect the job that you can work at. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna decrease the amount of jobs that you can actually work at, because that's always been a thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and she has a big like bull nose ring. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, this has actually made a lot of people mad. Although a lot of people think, because I guess she's like a TikToker or something. I don't know exactly, but a lot of people are kind of like, is she using this as a springboard to like work on OnlyFans or something? There was like rumors about that. You know what I mean? Because like you make attention and people are going to wonder about you. You know what I mean? So like raising attention for yourself. Listen, I'm going to be really, really ninjunga here. You know, obviously, I don't have a problem with tattoos, right? I don't care. Right. Like, you know, it's your body. You do what you want with it. Like, whatever. You could have, like, I know people, like, your tattoos are very tasteful. I like his tattoos. I like them.
Yeah.
I have met some people that have the ugliest tattoos. And when I say that, I mean, like, they were drunk when they got it, and even they regret getting them.
Yep.
Okay? Now, that being said, when you do get tattoos, you also realize that it can be detrimental to job opportunities. That's just the way the world works. You don't want to go to a lawyer, for example, that has like a whole bunch of tattoos. You know what I mean? Like everything done up, whatever. And I know what they say, like, you know, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. You can have tattoos and be like a good person and stuff, and that's true. But when you do get a tattoo, you realize that the whole world doesn't operate on the fact that you can be a nice person and have tattoos. It just doesn't work that way.
Right. Like a lot of like businesses, like business and like work too, it's a lot of it's based off of like first impressions. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, if I met someone that had like that had tats like all over their face, I'd be like a little intimidated at first. I'd be like, whoa.
Yeah. And TJ Maxx, which is what, you know what I mean? Like they sell cheap, like resell clothes that are like, you know, they haven't sold it. They sell it for cheap.
Yeah.
A lot of kids go there. A lot of families go there. And there's nothing wrong with exposing, you know, having kids know about tattoos. But I think that's one of those things where, you know, not people really, really young should not be exposed to this level of self-modification.
Yeah.
Because, like, first of all, let me also point out that a lot of the stuff that she has on her face, the one she has on her chest, is a Satan goat with a pentagram on.
Yeah, see, like, star,
one of those, like, you know, like those religious symbols and stuff that. And there's a lot of imagery that is inappropriate for young people to see. And if I was working at TJ Maxx, I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't hire her either, based on her tattoos. Yeah. I'm not even gonna lie. And I don't think you can actually legally come out and say that. Like in a legal sense, you can't do that because that's discrimination. However, like a person like her, she could probably get a job as a tattoo artist or like something like that. Or, you know, there's other job opportunities for someone like her. However, don't go and blast TJ Maxx being like, I want equality, even though I decided to, you know, get all this stuff on my face.
But also, like, the thing is, like, even in this video, like, tattoos might not even be the issue.
Yeah, that's true.
There were other people, other candidates that were more qualified. You know what I mean? Maybe that's just the actual situation. Your tats have nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? I feel like she's just using that as like a fallback.
But you know, the thing is like if these days, if you release something like that, if you can get the ball rolling with the particular issue, you can strong arm whole ass companies to either pay you or hire you or whatever. It's really easy to do that now with, you know, social media. So what her intentions are on this, I don't know, raise awareness for companies not wanting to hire people that have their whole face covered in tattoos and like, you know, demonic symbolism.
Yep.
But she got no sympathy. Yeah. Everyone was like, lady, I wouldn't hire you either. You know, so
yeah, I mean, like, honestly, like, you can get tattoos. For me, tattoos it's freedom of choice, freedom of expression, or whatever.
It is for her too. But no one's stopping her.
I also want, for me personally, I also want to always have that option of being able to cover it up. I can wear a long sleeve and cover this up. No one will ever know I have any tattoos. You know what I mean? But like having it on your neck and your face where you can't really cover it up, like, you know what I mean? Like that's a little different. I feel like. I'm not saying like that's a bad thing. You know what I mean? Like your body, your choice, but
you are free to do whatever you want. However,
there are going to be certain repercussions of having face tattoos and tattoos on your neck.
You have to realize what comes along with that freedom.
Yeah.
You know, so I have no sympathy for her. Good luck finding a job, lady.
Yeah, I mean, good luck finding a job, lady.
I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. I mean, look.
I mean, most people like that, like, do end up getting like face tats or whatever. Most of them like go into like the artsy field.
Yeah,
you know, like
it's cool. That works for you.
TJ Maxx is probably not the best choice. Like,
if you're looking for a mainstream job, I would highly not suggest getting tattoos like this.
Yeah,
I mean, listen,
you get them on your body and stuff where you can cover it up whenever you want. But
I mean, look, some of the tattoos are like very well done. They're very well done tattoos.
Yeah, but
I don't know about the
don't
symbolism.
have like a goat and stuff. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
like you have that devil goat and all that stuff. I don't know. There's that's a little bit much.
Yeah.
I think. Listen, that's why I have not gotten a tattoo, because I feel for some reason eventually I will regret getting it, which is why I don't get them. If you're like, I'll have no regrets getting a tattoo, then get one. That's fine.
What do you think about people who get their eyeballs tattooed?
Weird. That's
weird. Like creepy, right?
Once again, it's your choice, it's your body, it's your eyeballs. But don't expect society to not gawk at you, because it's not normal. Let's be honest.
Yeah, tattooing your eyeball, that's like a little extreme.
And if you're tattooed, listen, everyone wants to say, I don't judge people, blah, blah. That's bullcrap. If you saw someone with black eyeballs, like, you're going to be like, oh, that person's like, strange, or that person's eccentric to the point where it's like, uncomfortable. I would be uncomfortable sitting at a somewhere, and I'm like, the person across from me just has black, everything's tattooed black. Like, that's strange to me.
Yeah,
I would be
eye contact would be like, I'd be like, oh, whoa.
I'd be like, what happened in that person's life to make them want to do that? You know what I mean? Tattoos that's very different though. Like getting your eyeballs tattooed and getting your skin tattooed is different. But I mean, do what I say. I don't judge him for his tattoos. I don't judge a lot of my friends have tattoos. I don't judge them for that. That's their decision to make. And I mean, tattoos. Pretty, look, Noah's on that one. I can't say anything about that. Yeah, because I love Noah.
And see, the reason why I even got it up to here is because even if I wear a long sleeve, and I really want to cover it, even if it goes up, go down a little bit, it'll still cover it. You know what I mean? I intentionally got it to the point where where I could cover it fully whenever I want it. So all I'm saying is you're free to get whatever you want. Tattoos are cool. Just think about it long and hard before you get one. Yes, that's why I haven't gotten one. And tattoos are for life, everyone. So make sure you think about getting a tattoo before you actually get one.
Yes,
everybody. And make sure you get something that has some meaning to you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I mean, not necessarily. Maybe just getting tattooed. Some people get their whole body, 99.9% of their body tattooed.
Yeah.
I can't imagine every single one of those things means something to you. I think you just like to do it because you like to do it, which is cool.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. Just don't expect to get mainstream jobs looking like that, honestly.
Lady, best of luck to you.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you were looking for sympathy from the internet, you're seriously disillusioned because nobody was giving her any of that. Yeah. Ooh, I do like that. Mm-hmm.
All right, well, it is time for us to move on to our news articles for today. So let's see what Joel has prepared for us today.
And our boy, our guy, Elon Musk is in the news again. Of course he is, because he's Elon Musk. He's like the genius businessman version of Donald Trump. He's always in the news for something weird. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So Elon Musk has, I don't know if you saw this, Elon Musk has given a remote tribe the internet, because he has that Starlink thing, like the Starlinks.
Yeah.
There's a big satellite dish looking things you can put, and you get the internet beamed down from space.
Yeah, okay.
My dad has that actually. And this tribe is now so addicted.
Tribe? Like tribe?
Like a tribe of
like from where though? Well,
I'm gonna get there. Brazil, the Amazon.
Okay.
So because they don't have high speed internet in the freaking Amazon rainforest, but Elon Musk's Starlink things can do that.
Yeah.
That has unfortunately made them addicted to porn.
Oh, God.
In which they are now considered very, very lazy by their chief. So let me read this. A remote tribe deep in the heart of Brazil's Amazon has become porn addicts, and it's all thanks to our guy, Elon Musk. The mad situation has seen the indigenous Marubo people hooked on adult content after Musk's Starlink satellite gave them access to the internet, and it has now left one of the elders raging. I mean, you could tell it's a tribe because you call them an elder. That's, a very tribal thing. As it has also turned the people of around 2,000 people into lazy slobs who spend all day on Instagram and WhatsApp, like most of us in the West.
Yes.
Well, that's a big statement because, that's what we all do.
Yep.
According to the New York Times reporter Jack Nickus, who has visited the tribe, the introduction of the internet has also caused huge tensions within the group. Speaking to Nickus, tribe elder, I'm going to butcher this, Sainama Marubo said, when it arrived, everyone was happy, but now things have gotten worse. Young people have gotten lazy because of the internet. She said, adding, they're learning the ways of the white people. Listen. I mean, but honestly, a tribe from the Amazon, they're going to look at that kind of stuff, and they're just automatically going to assume it's the white man that did it. Because, and also Elon Musk is a white man, so. But
I mean, also Western culture is heavily tied in with the white man, right?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, back then, back in these tribes, right? They're very, very primitive. You know what I mean? Especially if you're living in a place like the Amazon rainforest, where like there's some places where you don't even get sunlight because there's so many trees.
Yeah.
So, and the people like with hunting, fishing, doing the crop thing, building, stuff by hand and stuff. And then now that they have the internet, they suddenly are addicted to adult content.
I think like getting addicted to adult content is like a real like addiction.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. You can get addicted to stuff like that.
Like people say like, oh, like like drugs are addicting, gambling's addicting, like drinking is like addicting. So is adult content. You know what I mean?
Skin can be addicting.
Yeah, like literally, yeah.
Lots of skin and boobies.
And for those people that live in the rainforest, like you said, like no internet, like they don't know about the outside world, blah blah blah. And then like they get the internet and like they like see these videos. I'm sure it's like compelling to them. You know what I mean? Like,
of course, yeah. And like you get to things over there. They're very traditional, right? Any tribe that you would see very traditional. They've been having the same traditions for God knows how long, centuries and centuries, maybe sometimes millennia.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you see things that you would never see otherwise. Things. You see these things, like at your fingertips. And it's like something that, like the acts that occur within adult media, like, you see that strictly within your tribe only. And then suddenly all manner of thing. I'm trying to be really, really, really not. I'm trying to be appropriate here, but it's really hard. I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm trying to be appropriate. You see things that you would never normally see.
And that compels you, like you're driven to that, you know what I mean?
And you're like, okay,
curiosity.
Well, so, you see it and then it perverts your life and then it perverts your tribe's life and that's how it is. Yeah. I mean, listen.
Say, like a moth is like drawn to the flame, you know what I mean?
It's like, you know what? Like if you put food in front of a dog, you think he's just going to sit there and stare at it?
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
I mean? Like you're going to consume the content.
You know what I mean?
So
I don't blame the people of the tribe.
No, of course not.
Listen,
Listen, they don't know any better.
They don't know any better.
They haven't been exposed to like things like this ever.
Yeah,
and then suddenly you get all this. It's like sensory overload. You know what I mean? Like honestly, and then you become addicted to that because it's like, it's like feel good, I guess. I don't know what I'm saying.
Hopefully, like they'll get over like their addiction of it, and like,
addiction.
Because I do think having the internet and like having like Wi-Fi and stuff, like it can be like a very big like beneficial part of life.
We're all to some degree addicted to the not porn, but like social media and just looking at your phone all day, and that's what makes them lazy. I can't imagine they're probably looking at other things. It's not just that, but
you know what I mean. I mean Elon Musk. I mean, bro, I don't know.
He knows what he's doing. He ain't stupid. Listen, that man, like I said, he's a lot like Trump. Like he's very unlikable in a lot of ways, but he is hilarious. I will say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So come on, I hope the tribe kind of pulls their stuff together because look, all the stuff that they build and like their old way of life, like there's something beautiful about having tradition. But then when the white man and of their the white man and all of their sinful activities kind of just taken over.
That's an interesting article.
Listen, I'm just trying to stay. I'm gonna stop talking.
Let's go on to the next news article.
I can't do this. All right. The next news story. A woman has shared her story after she spent thousands of pounds on her husband while he was in prison, admitting that she thinks their romance was worth every last penny. So, a woman has detailed how she spent 63,000 pounds on her husband while he was in jail, saying it was worth every penny. I'm not even kidding you. This is her name. Arrogance. All right. Arrogance Wood Houston met her husband.
What are you doing?
Zion.
Let me see it.
No, these names are crazy.
Let me see the names.
It's a Z. The one with the Z.
Arrogance Wood Houston met her husband.
Yeah, listen, you try to pronounce that.
Zion?
It's not Zion. I think it's like Zion.
I mean, what? Okay, that's some crazy ass name. Anyways,
at a barbecue, and immediately felt that he was the one. She knows how to pick him, does she? But she didn't realize at the time that he had just come out of prison and would soon be heading back there. We're gonna call him Z. Z just was first jailed when he was just 17 because he threatened another children with a gun and took a bag of sweets from them. There's a lot of problems in this story. Arrogance, 33. She's the same age as me. Man, she's really living her life, ain't she? Remains determined to stick by her man. And the pair married, and they had regular conjugal visits. If you don't know what that is, conjugal visits are, when you go to prison, if you're married refer to the previous story. Visits on prison grounds in a special caravan. They conceived their baby during one such visit. There's your answer. Arrogance explained, I don't stay in a cell with my husband and his cellmate. They have a place that's on the prison compound. It's like this little house, and you set it up how you want during those 48 hours. So basically, this lady is super in love with her
convict
criminal boyfriend, husband, whatever. Listen, lady, you need to love yourself a little because
I mean, maybe she does really love him. Who knows?
You might. But I'm just saying, a lot of people fell in love with Jeffrey Dahmer and all these other people that were in prison. So, look, all I'm saying is I'm not passing any judgment on the fact that you love this man, right? Been to prison twice.
Yeah,
have a kid from this guy. Okay, but honestly, I'm not people make mistakes in life. But you gotta make some pretty big mistakes to get sent to prison twice.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Okay, not even probation, not even like a fine. Prison.
Yep, prison time.
So this man is clearly not living his best life.
And also, having a kid while the dad is in prison, I feel like it's not
selfish.
It's selfish. It's not a good thing for the kid either. You know what I mean? You're gonna have a dad who's never there for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not passing any judgment. Psych! Yes, I am. Lady, what are you doing? Okay, you love this man. There's many fish in the sea. Why do you want to stay with a convict, twice convicted felon, and have a baby by this man? One time maybe. Maybe the gun went off in your pocket, and maybe you accidentally shot someone's foot. Okay? That's not what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Threatened little kids because of candy. This man, he was 17 at the time.
That's a little crazy, yeah.
Yeah, this man's clearly got issues, and you don't love yourself. It sounds like Stockholm Syndrome to me. That's when you love your captors. So,
yeah, I mean,
I think you don't respect yourself enough, and you don't respect your child enough to realize that is very, 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 very unhealthy and bad for your child's future.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel bad for the kid. Definitely, he's gonna grow up without a father. I mean, depends on also when he's gonna get released, but. I like Joel said, there are plenty of other fish in the sea that you could have chosen. I mean, to each their own, I guess. You know what I mean?
Listen, do what you want. But look,
you make the choices and you deal with the repercussions.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if she takes good care of her kid, whatever. But all I'm saying is, you don't love yourself and respect yourself if you're willing to deal with that. You know what I mean? Okay, prison one time, stuff happens. Okay, cool. But,
twice?
Come on.
Yeah.
But you know that they say women do like bad boys, and there's no badder than being in prison. So, I mean, whatever.
Oh, man, that reminds me. You know what I got to watch?
What?
Bad Boys.
Yeah, I know. I just came out.
The fourth
with Will
one, right?
Smith.
Just came out?
Yeah.
I got to watch it.
I don't think it's out here.
Is it? Not yet?
I don't think so, no. I think it's out. It just got released in the theaters in the States.
I want to watch it. Anyways, guys, what are we talking about?
Oh, no, that's the wrong Bad Boy. That's Diddy Bad Boy. We ain't talking about that. Oops. Yeah. Well, those were our little fun. I like the news stories. They're kind of fun.
Yeah. The news articles are very interesting today. We also watched our viral videos.
We talked about drinking. I mean, what's new?
Talked about drinking, hangovers, cures, blah, blah, blah. We were going to talk about something else. We might talk about it next week.
Yeah.
But,
we talked too much already.
Talked too much already. So we're going to end the episode here. But hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you guys did, leave us a thumbs up. Give us a like. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Leave us comments about your favorite parts of this video.
Yes. And you know what? Honestly, if there's some things that you would like us to cover, leave a suggestion. Maybe we'll pick up something, pick up on it.
Oh, yeah. Let us know what you guys want us to talk about. Yeah.
I mean, just ask us about things that'll be really funny, because I like to be funny on here. You know what I mean?
Don't ask us to talk about quantum mechanics or something.
Yeah.
We don't know anything.
We ain't trying to talk about none of that.
Yeah.
We talk about things that we know about. That's not always going to be K-pop, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks for all the love, everybody. Check out the Korean Cowboys Clips channel also. It's been fun making those things. So.
We also have a Facebook and a
Instagram, Twitter. X. Sorry, Elon.
TikTok that we don't really use, but we might start uploading more stuff on that. So make sure to look out for us on all of those platforms.
Yes.
And we'll see you guys next week with another fun episode.
Yes, we will. Catch you on the flip side. This has been the Korean Cowboys Podcast.
Yes. 3, 2, 1. Yeehaw!